Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching, and the @POPerception Twitter account here, and today's audio, give it your all. You know, sometimes there are people who are struggling because they don't give everything they have to the dreams that they have, and then they wonder why things don't work. To give it your all means to sometimes be seen as a little bit crazy, sometimes be seen as a little bit out there. To be speaking into existence things that haven't happened yet takes a lot of guts. It also takes a little bit of creativity and a lot of living on the edge. To give it your all means you don't listen to what other people are saying if you know within yourself that not trying something, not putting effort towards it, will lead you to despair, depression, despondency, or feeling like you've left it all on the ground. I can tell you the story of how my own biological family, with whom I am long estranged because of their abuse, ultimately didn't believe I could have my own business. They didn't believe that I was capable of doing anything of long-term value. To date, I've helped 12,000 people in some 40 countries to change their lives in a positive way. But it's because I gave it my all in spite of the fact of what was said over me. I gave it my all in spite of the fact of what had been said about me. And you know, sometimes giving it your all means studying late. Sometimes it means working harder than everybody else or working smarter than everybody else. Sometimes it means studying what other people are doing when you just want to watch TV, when you just want to Netflix and chill. Sometimes it means getting to the office early. Sometimes it means working multiple jobs or ultimately reestablishing what it is that you want. Sometimes it means staying up late or getting up early. Sometimes it means turning off the social media and turning into and onto relationships. Sometimes it means saying I love you, and sometimes it means saying no more. To give it your all means you have to control the energy you're putting into other people. It means you have to know that each moment has value, and what you value will come back to you positively or negatively. It means that you've got to begin to understand that you only have so much energy to put into the world, and to give it your all means sometimes some things, some relationships, some people, some situations have got to go so that you can grow. To give it your all means pushing through when you're tired, pushing through when you're sick, pushing through when you don't feel like it, and there will be many days you don't feel like getting out of bed, you don't feel like making that next phone call, you don't feel like dealing with a difficult person, you don't feel like interviewing one more person to expand your company, you don't feel like paying that bill, you don't feel like doing the things that are going to make you in the 1% rather than the 99. But here's the thing. Life owes you nothing but gives you everything. The power of decision is yours in every moment, and when you give it your all, you begin to see that it will pay off. Now, sometimes if you give something your all, if you give a job your all, if you give a person your all and it doesn't pay off, most times people get really, really, truly bitter. They get frustrated. They think that giving their all guarantees that they will see a return on their investment. That's not always the case. That's not always the way that it is. As a matter of fact, oftentimes we can give to somebody or something that doesn't see our value. And what you do, that means about face and reappropriate your energy. Be willing to give your all more than once, even when it doesn't work the way you intended, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you think you're depleted. But here's the thing, give your all to yourself too. That means take time to rest, take time to recharge, take time for your spiritual life. Give yourself permission to think about and to process how you're thinking. Are my thoughts progressive? Are they leading me forward or backward? Are they giving me energy or taking energy from me? Give your all to your own self-awareness and your own self-growth and the development of positive habits. Understand that to set a new habit, you have to be intentional. So figure out, write down if you need to every day, if you need to every week, what it is you're trying to accomplish, what it is you're putting effort towards, and keep a journal or a podcast or a blog or some form of chart of where you've come from and where you're going. Understand that there will be moments where you don't know everything. Be willing to study, be willing to grind, be willing to learn and grow in every moment. We've got, as a company, nearly 80,000, actually over 80,000 people that we ultimately have, people who are following us on social media. We didn't get there overnight. It took years to build it, but we're glad for every person. You see, that's the thing. Step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath, day by day, you build organically if you're living your truth. If you give your all, you leave it all on the table, you know that there will be critics. It doesn't matter that there's critics. Give the critics enough time to see if there's value in what they're saying, but never more time than you give to the people that are like-minded to you. Also, if you want to level up your finances, don't hang out with people who make a bunch less than you or complain about how the realities of their life are going. Because if you hang out with people who are constantly complaining, if you hang out with people, it's ultimately extremely difficult, because here's the reality of the situation. If you are around people who are limited in their thoughts, you will be limited in your outcome. But if you are around people who are limited in their thoughts, you will limit yourself and your own growth. It's perfectly okay that you begin to understand that sometimes you may not feel like growing. You may not feel like going forward. You may not feel like doing another bit of work. You may not feel like working the grind. Most often, and people say to me, how do you do it? And I say, because we as a company, we're here 84 hours a week for people. Now that may sound intense, and it is, but here's the truth. There is no one that I've interacted with in the last decade or dozen years, actually going on a dozen years, that can say they didn't feel that I gave my all to them, that my company did the same. If you want to be the best, you've got to work like the best, and that means working smart, but it also means being intentional. Don't waste energy. It's really hard not to get tied up in nuanced things that don't matter, things that are distractions, things that are petty, people's gossip, what other people are doing, the worry about politics, the worry about religion, the worry about all these things, that at the end of the day, is it going to matter in 5 minutes? Is it going to matter in 5 months? Is it going to matter in 5 years? If it's going to matter in 5 years, give it your attention. If it's going to matter in 5 months, give it a few minutes. But if it's not going to matter in 5 minutes or 5 days, don't even waste time on it. Because here's the thing. Your brain has about 60 to 80,000 thoughts in it in a given day. Guess what? 60 to 80,000 thoughts, and most of them are either limited or negative. Now, why is that? It's because what we put into our brains is about limitations and reason things can't change. But when you give your all, you begin to understand that only you are responsible for the actions you take, the progress you make or don't make. It means that time is on your side if you use every moment. But if you use every moment, it is in every moment that you can make progress. It's time to find a way that everything you do is really mattering. It's time to find a way to make everything matter. Find a way that your emotions, your ideas, your concepts truly matter to you, but also matter to the rest of the world. And also realize that by giving your all, it doesn't mean you're doing it to get a pat on the back. Because sometimes a pat on the back is 18 inches away from a kick in the butt. Don't do things for validation. Do things for the victory of knowing you made a difference. If somebody agrees with what you've done, that's a bonus. Live a bonus lifestyle. Every compliment is a bonus, but not a necessity to keep you going and growing. Focus on what it is that you want to accomplish. Focus on what accomplishing that will mean to you, and focus on taking deliberate action, no matter how small, every day. We call what we do around here on this channel the Progress Tribe. The reason we call it that is simply because Progress is where everything is at. If you stop making progress, nothing will change. Don't focus on what other people are doing. Don't focus on the naysayers and their criticism. Don't focus on things that are not going to matter long term. Instead, focus on working the grind of what you want to accomplish on any given moment. Focus on what it is that you want to accomplish today and tomorrow and the next day, and what you can do in this day and what you can do with every day. You see, that's the reality of where your focus needs to be. That's the reality of where the love needs to be. Because if you begin to understand the truth of what you want to accomplish, of where you're going, you've got to begin to understand that every moment counts. Every second is a sacrifice that'll get you to greater places. And it's not always going to be fun, but here's the thing. If you have joy about what you're doing because you believe in your ability to do it, it will show up as being enjoyable. It'll show up as being better than you ever thought possible. It'll show up as the things that you never thought you could do start to become a whole heck of a lot easier. Why? Because everything you do begins to matter. Because everything you do begins to count. What you make matter actually counts, and what you make count actually matters. And so when you give your all, it may mean that you lose some friends. It may mean that you lose some money. You may even go through a financial hardship. You may be down to that last dollar. You may be down to that last moment. But here's the truth of it. If you're willing to give your all, you can go in the direction of understanding everything that you need to accomplish, everything that you need to do, and the why behind it. Those are the things that really matter. Where is your emphasis going? What are you doing today? Are you making history? Are you making excuses? Are you complaining or are you conquering? Are you owning your life or owning your history? Because if you're owning your history, you can't move forward. If you're owning your life, there's nowhere to go from here but in a forward motion direction that's going to lead to your success, lead to your achievement, lead to your goals. And you know, it's so often, because here's the thing, the emotions that we indulge becomes the experience that we create. In other words, when you focus on what it is that you want to do, and you focus on making things happen, then you begin to understand how to continue to keep going, because you're in the flow of what you're meant to do. You're in the flow of what matters to you. You're in the flow of making a difference. And when you begin to make more and more time to make that reality, you can do anything. There is no dream that you can't achieve. You see, if a dream is born within you, that means you have the ability to create it. If the dream is born within you, that means you have the ability to make it happen. And that is truly, truly valued. There is a new model for reaching new ways of being, and that is to give all you've got. Give when you don't want to anymore, and give when it's uncomfortable. Don't push yourself beyond what you can handle in a physical way, but always believe that we live in a no-limit society, so that you can grow and go and be and become everything you were destined to be. You know, we've started this channel. We believe in progress. We started the Progress Drive because each and every one of you has something to give the world. I believe in you. I believe in progress. And we, together, will make history. I challenge you in this moment. If you know one person that would benefit from this channel, get them to subscribe, get them to listen, get them to share. Put things in a playlist. When we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to give away a $350 value, a 1-month coaching package with me to get life back on track for one person. Every time we hit a milestone on this channel, we're going to give away stuff. And I know that you can make a difference for someone in your life. There is something in what's been said here, or something in what's been said in the audios we've done, that can make a difference for you. My question is, are you going to show up and be part of the solution of the evolution of our world? Because it needs you. It needs you to give your all to humanity and the unity that we're trying to create. I encourage you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Like, subscribe, comment. What are you giving your all to? Answer below. And as we close, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.